Hello, Leo. I hope you guys are doing well. I want to go and get into your June reading for 2019. Is that the beginning of summer? Summer? I think it's starting to get into summer now. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into this reading for you. I'm going to do a Celtic cross, okay? So the first card out, Leo, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Excellent. New beginnings, new jobs, new beginnings in jobs and promotions. It could talk about saving more money, receiving more money, just things that are stabilizing. It could also be an extension between two people. Could be with an earth sign, a connection with an earth sign, but that's kind of where you're at. It's like a beginning, okay? Opposition is, or what's over it is essentially the Temperance card. The Temperance card talks about bringing balance. It talks about connection, unity. It talks about, I know a lot of people would say unity would be the Hierophant, but unifying energies, blending energies together. That's very much about the Temperance card. What do I bring into a situation? What do I remove from a situation so I can actually go forward and have this as a positive outcome versus like just thinking about it or wishing about it. You know, it's like, what do I actually do in my life to change these things so I can bring more abundance and more experience to myself, you know? The root of the reading, we have the Four of Swords. So this is talking about taking time for yourself, talking about sometimes secluding yourself, sometimes kind of blocking off communication or connections with people. It can talk about needing time to rest, needing time to take an emotional break, a mental break. Sometimes we need to connect with ourselves spiritually. That can happen as well. A lot of the time we are healing though from an emotional state. The Three of Swords is right above him with that Ace of Swords underneath him. The Three of Swords talks about pain. It talks about frustration, emotional heartache, emotional disruption. And the Four talks about needing to heal from something like that. Now, it doesn't have to be something regarding a heartbreak, but it can be. You know, if that were the situation, this is almost as if we are considering giving a new chance to something with somebody that we've been dealing with, and like we're coming out of a situation where we're wanting to come out of a situation, so we can consider giving. The Temperance card too as well. This is Sagittarian energy. This can also talk about a fair amount of attraction between somebody that you just feel like it's, I don't know, this deep attraction. But it's really important to recognize how you commingle, how you connect with somebody, how you make sense of a situation with somebody, you know, and what you bring in, what they bring in. And I'm not talking about like your finances, like that's important too, of course, in the long run, but I'm talking about like the connection between the people. Is it just lust? Is it just sexual gratification? Or is this something deeper? The Four of Swords talks about taking time for yourself to figure things out. In the past, you have the Page of Wands in reverse. This can talk about not knowing the direction that we're going in. It can talk about somebody having ideas but not really knowing which way to go. Not having the desire to move forward. Also not having the desire to learn anything more about a situation or a person. Especially if the situation felt juvenile. You know, it's almost like dropping it, taking time for ourselves, recognizing what we need in our lives to balance things out so we can have a genuine beginning, either with ourselves or with somebody else. That may be something that's being weighed up. Present energy, you have the Eight of Pentacles here. So the Eight of Pentacles is essentially a card where we are putting in energy and effort into a situation, whether that be work. If you have a new opportunity for a job, this may be getting into a fair amount of work toward it. It can also talk about putting in energy and effort into a relationship or the potential of a relationship, really evaluating a situation. The Seven of Pentacles talks about evaluation periods where we recognize what we want and then we go for it. Here, we're going for it. We're putting the work in. I do want to mention, though, this is the After Tarot. In this deck, the Eight of Pentacles here. You have the Three of Pentacles in the foreground, and you have the Five of Pentacles in the background. So I want to make the distinction between the two here. The Three of Pentacles talks about putting energy and effort into a situation. It talks about connecting with people that are like-minded. The Three of Pentacles essentially, has us creating goals and plans. It can, communicate about dating, but being on the same page with people, wanting to go in the same direction with somebody. In the past, or in the background as well, it could be the past, we have the images of the Five Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles talks about being left out in the cold. It talks about, being discouraged in somebody's life. It talks about lack mentality, whether you don't have finances, you don't have money. This could be a financial reading where you've been in a hole and now you have the opportunity to change this. If this is a situation where we have potential reconciliation wanting to happen, Temperance card doesn't always represent reconciliation, but sometimes it can. It's almost as if we're having to look at the new opportunity, but also remember the past, and he's looking at the new opportunity, the potential for the Three of Pentacles, but this is in the past. So if that means anything to somebody, you might want to consider taking time to really absorb and, go within, recognize what you need in a situation from somebody, and, don't go in guns a-blazing, like make sense of what you must have. In the near future, we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. So this is an interesting card for that energy. Like, if you're putting energy and effort into something, yet you're feeling like it's not going to pan off with anything positive for you, this can talk about being in disharmony with people emotionally that we care for. There's not a fair amount of connection there that should be. The Nine of Cups in reverse talks about emotional distress. It talks about not feeling right in a situation, not feeling right in our surroundings, feeling like we are against ourselves, the person that we're with is against us. It's also a lack of abundance. It can talk about not being very happy. It's almost as if with the Eight of Pentacles here and the Nine of Cups in reverse, like here. If this is a work-related situation, are you putting yourself in a situation where it's like you're still working hard, but then the outcome isn't going to be great? Or like, are you discouraged that it's going to be a flop? And that kind of goes for people too. Like, are you considering the potential of getting involved with somebody and then worried that it's going to be a flop? Like, what is that? So the energy of you, where you're at this point, we have the Chariot in reverse. So this is no movement. This is no movement. It's a feeling of being out of balance. It's something where we are not harmonious with the situation at hand, and we're not moving anywhere. The Chariot talks about balance. It talks about energies. You see this anima, animus, the two beasts in front of the Chariot, black, the white, the opposites. These energies, when they're disharmonious, they will they don't move. There's no movement. The Chariot talks about a lot of success. It talks a lot about wonderful things to happen, moving forward very quickly once we get out of a situation that has been very tiring, and I'm just kind of wondering, like, are we still in this energy? Are you still kind of, I don't want to say gun shy, but are you healing from a situation? Are you being active and taking the time that you need, which is great, to deal with something versus, running into something without having any plans, running into something without knowing what you're getting into, what's coming for you. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So interesting here. Now, with finances, it's not feeling secure with your finances, not feeling like you're having an abundant yield with your finances. energies that leave you emotionally dissatisfied. If you feel like you're being promoted in a situation, yet you're not getting any change in that matter, like a bigger paycheck or like the recognition that you need, it's a call to really find out what actually balances you out and gets you in that direction, even if you have to let go of something, the fact that this is in reverse is talking about emotional disharmony, not being content in our lives, in our situations. If this is a person that you're dealing with, this could mean that somebody wants to come back into a situation. It could mean that you want to be back in a situation with somebody, yet we have all this contemplation about it. We're taking time. Is this the potential for something new? Is this just potential, or are we actually putting the effort and energy into something? Is this just in our mind? Like, the one thing that I don't see here really, first of all, there's no cups. Well, actually, no, that's not true. The 9 of Cups is in reverse. It's you have every element here. Yeah, you have every element here, but it's like, I don't know. It feels like we're stuck in our mind, which may be good. Let's see hopes, fears, concerns, worries. I'm going to clarify everything too. Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is essentially a card of getting to where you need to be and really doing it well. The Knight of Pentacles is somebody who is steadfast. They get involved with things that yield outcome. They take their time in situations. They're also known as the slowest knight in the deck as well, but often for good reason. Okay. They venture into things that are going to make them money, that solidify their life, that cause them to gain recognition. They're very giving people as well. They want to make sure that, people are taken care of, and abundant. Now, if this is a person, though, you may be dealing with a situation where somebody's taken a while to get to you. The opportunity for something to come back together is at hand. And it's almost as if like you're in this space where it's like you already know that it doesn't feel right or it doesn't feel good, but you're still toying with the idea. I would say be careful about that. Like, we'll get into more of that, but let's see the outcome card. So the 10 of Cups in reverse. Now you have the 9 and 10 of Cups in reverse. This is not a harmonious situation. It's not something that leaves you emotionally satisfied in the long run. It's not something that causes you to feel settled or easy around somebody. If anything, it causes a lack of emotional connection. I don't know. Please don't get involved with things just because it's a body to be next to, or, they make good money. So, like if somebody's offering you a situation where like the money's better, or they're offering you like this potential for stability, who's putting the work into that? Is it you or is it them? Like, seriously, ask yourself that. Even if they are offering that to you, what is your aspect of what you need to contribute here? What do they contribute? That needs to be kind of a defining factor in this situation here, because it seems like we're headed towards a lot of emotional dissatisfaction, potential for blame, potential for feeling down on our luck in regard to love and relationships, feeling like you just can't get it right, Be careful. Be careful with what you sign on for, Don't go with somebody just because it feels like you should, or like you feel indebted, or like they're dangling a carrot in front of you and that carrot looks damn good, Like, I hope you wouldn't do that, but some people do that. Some people get into relationships because they don't want to be alone, or they don't want to do this and that, It's like they'd rather have somebody who is unfortunate next to them versus being on their own. So I'm going to go ahead and clarify here, and we will get into this reading even more, okay? I'm just going to lay them out like I did for this reading. I will take them from the deck the way that they are presented. Show me the Celtic Cross. Thank you. Okay. So for the Ace of Pentacles here, we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. So if somebody is offering you something here, I want you to be careful in regard to essentially how you are not being told the truth to, not being emotionally connected with. If somebody's telling you something that feels too good to be true, be aware of that. Be careful about what they bring to the table. The Knight of Cups in reverse is somebody who, quite frankly, will blow smoke up your ass. There's somebody who are emotionally, they oftentimes are emotionally wrecked themselves in certain ways. They can be an emotional manipulator. They're kind of emotionally devious. They're manipulative in some strange ways, and it doesn't really serve anybody, and often not even themselves, because it's like, it doesn't. Be careful about the opportunities that you're being given, especially with the communication, the lack of communication. You know, be careful about things that are too good to be true, okay? Temperance, we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So be careful about holding on to this situation, Leo. If you're dealing with somebody and the situation is not feeling right, if it feels like you're being manipulated, toyed with, if it feels like you can't really trust somebody for what they're offering you, you know, I would say don't hold on to the idea that somebody may change or that this might go the right way. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going the right way. It feels like there's some significant disharmony here. And it's better to let it go than to maintain the idea that something will change here. Show me the Four of Swords. So good. You have the Justice card for the Four of Swords. Libran energy, but the Justice card essentially is when wrongs are righted, rights are wronged. No. Wrongs are righted. When either we give ourselves the opportunity to cut situations out, which leave us with the truth, which leave us taking time for ourselves so that we can heal and maintain ourselves after a situation that's been frustrating, especially with communication and honesty. You know, that's definitely part of it. This can also talk about just cutting somebody out and taking time for yourself, okay? Yeah, it feels like a lack of communication, a lack of truth here seems to be a problem. That's what I feel, like a lack of truth. Or like somebody is open to manipulating the truth so they can kind of get into what they think you want to hear, or they think how you feel. I keep feeling don't be played with, don't be toyed with, you know, Leo. Show me the Page of Wands. You have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords, again, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini energy. The Justice card is Libra. This card talks about somebody who can be cold. They can be disconnected emotionally. But what I'm feeling here more so is that this is a game changer as far as the direction that we want to go in. This is somebody who basically shuts things down because they understand that it doesn't work for them, okay? The King of Swords, he cuts things out of his life, sometimes abruptly. You know, if you are concerned about getting back into a situation or dealing with somebody that is floundering, or being with them feels like you're floundering, this is straight up talking about not even venturing into the idea of entertaining it, okay? And you could have been dealing with an air sign in the past who was waffling and emotionally disruptive and manipulative. That's a possibility too. And they could have been uncommunicative. I feel like their messages may have been muddled. The Eight of Pentacles, you have the Star in reverse. So it's interesting because this card aside from just the general meaning, like, yes, put work and energy into something and, diligence and like pouring yourself into something for good outcome, you have somebody here in some state of contemplation. Do I put my energy into these three pentacles? Again, the three of pentacles, movement with people that are on the same page as we are, wanting to create goals and outcomes with people, stabilizing beginnings so that we can create something more, dating again. Okay, do we want to go back into this? For that, you have the Star in reverse. The Star in reverse talks about not really paying attention to your guidance, not really listening to the path that you're supposed to be on. Sometimes it can talk about just not listening to your intuition. It can also talk about when we don't recognize ourselves and the potential that we have to shine elsewhere. Okay. Show me for the Nine of Cups, you have the Nine of Wands. So most definitely, if you feel out of sorts with somebody, if they're emotionally out of balance and it brings you to a state of emotional imbalance, have boundaries like a motherfucker. Like, look at these two people. One is looking at somebody and the other one won't even look at him in the eyes. Like, it's almost as if this might be you, Leo, trying to get the truth from somebody, and it's like they won't even look at you in the eyes. Have boundaries with somebody. If they are emotionally disruptive, have boundaries with them. You might just want to move on with yourself, The Chariot in reverse. Okay, so let's see what we have here. The Chariot in reverse, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is cycles. The opportunity to look cycles in the eye and change them, recognize where we feel connected to a person that we know may not be healthy for us, and how to go about cutting it out of our life, how to go about recognizing where we communicate our truth here and open the pathway for something different. If you feel like you've been cycling with somebody over and over again, or it might be cycling with the same type of person. You keep running into the same type of person that's like emotionally manipulative. This is talking about recognizing where we have this imbalance within our lives and doing something about it. The Wheel of Fortune talks about patience. It talks about positivity and luck, but it also talks about cycles. It talks about perpetuating cycles. I often like to see the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, just because it often talks about, it denotes ending cycles, not going back and forth with things that don't make sense for us. Considering that you do have the Temperance card here, what do you need to balance out for yourself? I'd say for yourself, I wouldn't even worry about a person. I'd say, what do you need to balance out for yourself? Where do you find yourself connected to situations that give you minimal growth, minimal recognition? Do you want to perpetuate that? Is that what's stopping you? Is that what's stopping you, Leo? Nine of Pentacles in reverse, because it's like here, it's like we have this back and forth energy. I feel it's in our mind a bit and in the heart, but like for this to come out, what's coming for you, it's like, is this somebody who's dissatisfied in their life coming toward you, or is this you going towards something again, coming from a place of dissatisfaction in yourself and in your life, again, perpetuating cycles? We need to be introspective. People get very upset when they have to be introspective. They want things to just be kind of nice and packaged in a pretty little bow and be foreverland. And that's not how it is with relationships and people that we know. Like, it doesn't work like that. So I want to know what is here for the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And you have the Lovers in reverse. So good. The Lovers in reverse is creating, sure, it can be about a lover, most definitely, but it can also talk about making a hard decision. Here, it's like we are back and forth about a situation regarding somebody. Do we want to go back in? Do I not want to go back in? Will it change? Will I change? Will they change? Pay attention to what's been presented to you, Leo. Pay attention to what has been presented to you. Be honest about that with yourself. Like, be genuine about that. Like, you can't change somebody. People who change show you. They prove it to you time and time again, and they reassure you, not by the words "I've changed," but by their actions. And it's a long string of actions to gain trust again. Like, sometimes a year to more, you know. That's just the truth of it. Like, you have to watch somebody, how they progress, okay? Knight of Pentacles, you have the Page of Cups. So if the Knight of Pentacles is showing up with the Page of Cups here, hopes, worries, concerns, potentials here, it's like you have somebody coming at you with an offer, an opportunity. I would say it's taken a while to get here, and I would say it's minuscule. They may also apologize to you, but it doesn't feel like it's enough to actually maintain or warrant you putting yourself into that again, or if it's with a new person, again. Like, I don't want to be harsh and say, you know, you don't date the right people and you're bad for that, and like, you don't understand. And it's not about that. Like, when we continually get like the same type of person in our life, it's really a mirror image for us. Like, how do we go about changing that? What is it that it's highlighting? Okay, is it highlighting our self-worth, our value? Is it highlighting maintaining situations with people who keep us at a poverty level, whether that be financially or emotionally impoverished? Like, what is that connection? Find the connection. If it's somebody who's coming back from the past who wants to give you another offer, apologize, I think that this is almost like you're just like, 10 of Cups in reverse. You have the King of Cups. So, ouch. The King of Cups in reverse. Scorpio energy for sure. Cancer, Pisces as well. The King of Cups, it's always interesting when I get the King of Cups with the King of Swords. This can talk about somebody who is emotionally corrupt, emotionally unaware, emotionally dissatisfied. This is somebody who drinks an awful lot. It's somebody who's very frustrated in their life. They can be emotionally manipulative as well. For the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups to be popping up, and the Page of Cups here, you have everybody except the Queen as far as the Cups court cards. Now, this is somebody who will, you know, apologize or communicate a new offer of connection with you, but is it true? Is it real? Is it coming from a place of them just needing to be next to somebody? You know, that seems to be a very interesting thread in this reading, just because I said it might be you, but it might be somebody else. It might be somebody else wanting, it's like, when people aren't satisfied in their life, they go out and they try and like connect with others under the guise of like genuine reciprocity in relationships and desire to create something with somebody. But like, the reality is they just don't want to be alone. Like, don't fall for that. Like, something about that energy is very like, don't fall for that. Don't fall into that. Like, it'd be far better if you were doing things on your own, in your own way. You know, don't go against your better judgment. Please don't go against your feelings. You know, if you smell a rat, it's a fucking rat. It's like the Chuck E. Cheese rat, you know, it's animatronic and it's just on a cycle. It's on a loop. And sometimes people are like that. You can't change them, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pull 2 oracle cards here. I'm going to pull one from the Demon deck, and I'm going to pull one from the Nocturna deck. Show me for Leo. Show me for Leo. You have Stolas. And let me pull Stolas up. Focus on accurate appraisal and the search for true worth. Okay, so if this is a situation where we are constantly in battle with ourselves in regard to our self-worth, our value, why we keep getting into the same situations with the same type of person or the same person, what is it mirroring? What is the worth? What is the value of ourselves, our time, our energy, and what are we not learning here? Okay, that's what I'm going to read from that. And for the Nocturna deck, let's check out for Leo. 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 So, flying out, Leo. Mountain lion. What's up, kitty? All right, mountain lion. I feel like I remember this card for somebody, but it's an interesting one. Talks about prey. Mountain lion. Patience, nobility, boundaries. Boundaries like a motherfucker. The mountain lion is an ultimate symbol for scrutiny. A reserved and solitary creature, the mountain lion preserves its energy and only attacks when the time is right. These noble big cats are sure of themselves. Being apex predators, they have very few things to worry about. That's why they sleep so much. Mountain lions are also very territorial, a reminder that setting boundaries in your life is very important. I feel that this message is twofold. I feel that this person, whether it's unbeknownst to them or not, they may be type of predatory energy in the way that they approach people or situations. If that's you, get it in check. Also, scrutiny. The mountain lion is an ultimate symbol for scrutiny. Scrutiny. Pay attention to what this situation is presenting to you. Pay attention to what you are feeling in it. Pay attention to what you've experienced in the past with either the same thread of person and type of relationship or the same person. I feel also in job situations too. If you are in a rut, putting your energy in, pouring yourself into a situation that you know is getting you nowhere, it doesn't feel emotionally stable. The people that you are dealing with don't have your best interest at heart. They don't even recognize you. Like, pay attention to that. Okay. So, I just think that this reading is talking a lot about being honest with yourself, being honest with others, and requiring that honesty be brought to you by others. But I feel in a certain way too that you may already understand that even if they aren't coming directly at you or toward you or being honest with you, that's enough of an indication to not want to dig for the honesty, to not want to dig for an outcome. Like, create your own outcome, okay? Create your own path, and don't let somebody stifle you just because they're there or they're a warm body to curl up and, die next to. God, I don't mean to be so morose, but it's just kind of like, this feels like beating a dead horse. And I don't mean that you are. It just feels like this feels like it's a cycle that needs to be put to sleep. All right. If you found this reading helpful, Leo, feel free to like, share, subscribe. And if you choose to donate, the link is in the description box below. And those of you that have, I very much appreciate it. It's been super kind of you. I'm blown away by some of your messages and just the fact that you want to. So thank you so much. And I will be back in the second week of June for your next reading. All right, Leo, take care. Good luck. Bye-bye.